Good afternoon, I'm Malcolm Jordan and this is your Midday News Fix for Tuesday the 23rd of July. A former Health New Zealand chair suggests the ministry could be to blame for many of the agency's issues. HNZ is being accused of overspending by about $130 million a month, and the board is being replaced by a solitary commissioner. The government's blaming the last government's reforms. Former board chair Rob Campbell says the ministry stewards the system.
The ministry, you've got to remember, presided over the cock-up that's our health system for a long time.
Meanwhile, some health workers say they want the priority to be the workforce rather than budget blowouts. Resident Doctors Association National Secretary Deborah Powell says the reality is health is underfunded.
The money we get is always in catch-up mode these days. We need to get into an investment phase.
Kamala Harris says she intends to earn the Democratic presidential nomination and win the election. Party endorsements, multi-million-dollar donations and volunteer support for her fast-track campaign are flooding in. The Vice President's dropped into the Delaware campaign office to rally her new team. She's told them she took on perpetrators of many kinds in previous roles as a courtroom prosecutor and the Attorney General of California.
Predators who abused women. Fraudsters who ripped off consumers, cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
Meanwhile, election analyst Henry Olsen says it's likely other possible contenders will feel it's not worth taking on Harris. He says some may privately think she isn't the strongest candidate and want the job themselves, but have opted for discretion.
It's extremely hard to take out a sitting vice president with the sitting president's endorsement, who's also got hundreds of millions of dollars behind her that wouldn't necessarily be transferable to someone who beat her.
And the US Secret Service Director is taking full responsibility for the assassination attempt on Donald Trump 10 days ago. Kimberly Cheetle has appeared before lawmakers, telling them this was a significant failure, but she won't be resigning.
Nothing I have said should be interpreted to place blame for this failure on our federal, state, or local law enforcement partners who supported the Secret Service in Butler. We could not do our job without them.
CrowdStrike's president says the company's open to compensation talks over last week's massive global IT outage. About 8.5 million Microsoft devices were disabled by a bad update affecting airlines, shops and banks. Shares in the global cybersecurity company dropped more than 13% in value since the outage, which is estimated to have cost about $1 billion. Michael Centonis told Sky News he understands the impact on businesses.
Those conversations have to happen and will happen. That phase will come after we get our customers remediated.
To sport. Reigning World Player of the Year, Ardie Savia says he wants to honour his Samoan heritage while still at the peak of his rugby career, after confirming his move to Moana Pacifica for the Super Rugby competition. Pulse coach Anna Andrews-Tasola is confident they won't be underdone from a 13-day lull period after beating the Tactics 58-44 to book their place in the ANZ Premiership netball final. And Tour de France cycling champion Tadej Pogacar and runner-up Jonas Vingegaard have been ruled out of the Paris Olympics due to exhaustion. I'm Malcolm Jordan. That's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at 5 p.m. from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.